There is a contentious debate about whether mountain bikers should be allowed at Water Dog. What are your thoughts about this issue and the future of Water Dog? The order will be Gina, Michael, Robin, Warren, and Julia. So Gina, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Belmont has so much beautiful open space, and each of us is entitled to enjoy that open space. None of us is entitled to monopolize it, right? The answer in our divided America is not to divide us more, like hikers here, bikers there. The goal is for us to share the land. Hasn't that been the lesson of the last couple of centuries? So I think if we want to move forward, communication between groups is key. Bikers need to understand their rules, hikers need to understand theirs. I think I want to tell you a story. So I'm incredibly unathletic, like walking down a slightly inclined hill makes me nervous. But unfortunately, fortunately, I married into this ridiculously athletic family. So one day I was hiking with my husband, not in Belmont, and a mountain biker passed us going the same way as us. And I saw him and I heard him and I noticed that I became nervous. And then after I became nervous, I became angry about getting nervous and then kind of angry at him for making me nervous. So I stopped, I turned to my husband, who's a mountain biker, and I said, I'm feeling nervous and it's turning into anger because I don't know what to do or what I should do in order to make sure that we don't collide. And I know my anxiety is not their fault, so I just want to know what I should do not to collide with them. And he said, just stay to the right. When I'm on a bike, I expect hikers and dogs to stay with the right, and I stay to the left. And then I was fine. I knew what my responsibility was. Lots of bikes passed, and I just went right, and I was fine. So I think explaining and having signage around rules like that, as well as some additional safety precautions like bikes ring bells as they approach, is really the better answer here. If a couple of bikers are riding like idiots, then yes, there should be a way to report repeat offenders. Maybe a volunteer ranger can be there on weekends and have some sort of power to enforce the rules or tell dangerous riders to leave. But I think these are better ways than to just, shut down some trails for an entire population.
Thank you, Gina. Michael?
Sorry for the delay in unmuting there. In regards to Water Dog Lake Park debate, I understand that there are people on both sides of the issue that are very, very passionate about their views. I have to admit, though, I have personally never hiked or biked in the park. I've had 6 knee surgeries and I have arthritis in both of my knees. I know as a city council member that I will have to represent all of Belmont and not just my district. So I will make sure to read all the environmental reports and listen to all the people who bike and hike before making any recommendation. I have spoken to hundreds of my neighbors in Homeview and Sterling Downs, and this issue of bikers versus hikers has not come up once. So I would like to talk about the issues they are concerned with, which is not on the questions, but right now, most of the people are telling me they're concerned about the thousands of high-rise apartments and the 7 marijuana dispensaries being proposed in East Belmont. Neighbors are concerned about issues related to infrastructure, traffic congestion, pollution, and of course, parking issues that will clearly come to East Belmont. Many of my neighbors have said that they moved to Belmont to get away from the city with the high-rise apartments, traffic, noise, pollution, and difficulty finding parking, only to find that their local politicians seem to want to make Belmont exactly what they tried to move away from. Neighbors are already dealing with people parking in front of their homes in Sterling Downs from people living in apartments on Old County. And I've even confirmed this with a local Belmont police officer who said this is a problem they deal with on a daily basis. I promise to be a true voice for all Belmont residents and will help to come up with a solution that is fair for everyone and doesn't overly burden one neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Robin?
Gina actually beautifully expressed what I feel about the open spaces here in Belmont. We are fortunate as a community to have access to such wonderful spaces such as Water Dog Lake, and I do not believe that there should be limits placed on who has access to that area. It belongs to all of us, to all of us to use in the ways that are most comfortable to us. Now, in terms of the debate between the two sides, ultimately what I hear is that it's about safety. Well, if it's about safety, first I want to confirm that there really is safety concerns in regard with bikers on Water Dog Lake. I can say that I have been on that trail many times, and I have never felt danger in terms of bikers on the pathways. So I want to confirm that there really is a challenge, a problem there. And second, if there is, then let's come up with some creative solutions to make it safer so that everyone has the right to be on open space that belongs to all of us.
Thank you, Robin. Warren?
Thank you. We have jewels of resources with WaterDog, with our open space, our trails. We are the envy of the peninsula and probably beyond that, quite frankly. And that's why people from all over want to use our trails and come enjoy them. It's wonderful. I believe that everybody should be able to enjoy our recreational resources safely. The city's been working very hard to develop a master plan for this. It's in great shape. We'll be voting on that soon enough. And as mayor, during the first year of COVID, I think I mentioned, I made it a priority to keep our trails open to all, which was fairly controversial at the time. If you remember, a lot of cities were closing their trails. And I thought for the mental health of our community, for the physical health of our community, we couldn't do that. So I have worked hard to keep everybody on using our resources. As you even heard tonight, there are very big differences in the way people think about the safety of when they're using the trails. It ranges from mountain bikers believing that there are no issues, and we should continue to use the trails as we do, to hikers who want to get rid of bicyclists. And there's lots of items in between on, should we educate people on staying to the right, as Gina was mentioning? Do we do better signage? What do we do? Again, as I've kind of made it clear earlier, we need to engage the folks in different perspectives so that we can identify the best solutions moving forward so that everybody can enjoy the resources safely. People have stopped hiking sometimes out of fear. That's not right, if that's the truth, if that's what's going on. So we need to do everything. And as an elected official, not an appointed official, not as somebody, it's just important to make sure we consider all of the perspectives.
Thank you, Warren. Julia?
So I've spent a lot of time speaking and communicating with folks who think there are very few issues to be solved at Waterdog Lake, and those who think mountain bikes make the area unsafe. And I'll say that Waterdog is actually one of my favorite places to hike. It's right near my home. We live right adjacent to it. And I spent a lot of time hiking the trails there with my family. So I'm familiar with the trails and the shared use of them. And I think that there are people who feel perfectly safe walking the trails, but there are always things we can do to make the trails safer for everyone and improve the experience for trail users. We could improve wayfinding and signage so users better understand where they are on the trails and which trails lead back to the trailheads and things like that. We can implement some tools that have been proven to reduce the speed of mountain bikes to increase the feeling of security for walkers and hikers, a little bit of what Gina was talking about. We can implement tools like slow and say hello and asking bikers to use bells when they round blind curves. In fact, hikers can use bells when they round curves to alert other hikers. I'd like to start a program where the city provides loaner bells at City Hall or at trailheads for bikers and hikers to use. And there are also tools for trail design that the city could implement to reduce the speed of bikes. And the draft pros plan actually includes that, the draft open space plan. When I hike these hills, I'm very impressed at the behavior of the mountain bikers who are friendly, say hello, and often indicate how many people are riding. So they'll say, it's just 2 of us or just 3 of us, so that we hikers know what to expect. Waterdog is one of the few areas in the region where mountain bikers can enjoy trails. It brings a diverse group of people from our community and beyond to recreate together. When I'm out on the trails, I see mountain bikers of all generations, families with kids, adults, and senior adults. And going into the future, I want to make sure we have the safest trails possible while keeping the wonderful and long-established multi-use aspect of these trails.